everybody. We are live on Twitch. If you aren't, follow us on Twitch. Remember to subscribe to Saints Happy Hour wherever you get your podcasts. Also, become an annual patron at patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour to get the best Saints podcast every day. And you get a month for free, and you get the Saints Season Survival mug. This week, I want to thank, again, Wicker, Mitchell, Pam, Blake. They all became patrons. Breaking news this week. It's amazing. You should do it. Thanks to Who A Trandy for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Speaking of which, did you know you can support the show for free every month if you use Amazon Prime? All you have to do is go to twitch.tv/Saints Happy Hour, click the little subscribe button below the stream, choose the option, subscribe with Prime. It's really that easy. It's going to take you less than 5 minutes, so go ahead and do it. Even if you're listening to the audio-only version, which most of you are, you can click on the link in the description. And by the way, you can do it every month. So it's not just a one-time thing. It helps us realize our dreams. We could fly Thomas in from Poland for a live show. I could build a studio so I don't sound like I'm at the bottom of a swimming pool. Gentlemen, welcome. Everybody, what are you drinking? Andrew, you're excited about what you're drinking, so tell me.
Yeah. Well, listen, I feel like we're hard on each other. We like to rip on each other, especially Dave. I feel like sometimes I can trash him. I can be a little harsh. But I wouldn't be a good friend. I wouldn't be a man if I didn't admit that sometimes I'm wrong. And yes,
by the way, I touched on this on the last week's show, but this is much better coming from you.
Yeah. It's true that sometimes I'm wrong, and unbelievably, against all odds, when I am wrong, it's possible that Dave is sometimes right. And look,
it's funny how our stories. It's funny how we put our different spins on it.
I'm stupid. You're smart.
I gotta say, Dave's tasting IPAs.
You're the best. I'm the worst.
Don't worry. If you're worried about me drinking an IPA right now on air, I'm not gonna be doing that. So don't worry. I'm not going crazy here. Okay. But I gotta say, Dave, he's been drinking a lot of rum on the show, and I was like, yeah, rum's terrible. So I'm in the Bahamas, right? And this buddy of mine, late night, he's like, hey, do you like rum? You want to go drink some rum? And I'm like, nah, I don't like rum, man. Rum's terrible. And he's like, rum's terrible. He's like, come to this Bahamian bar with me. It's just, we go in this little rum bar. I'm like, all right, whatever. He's like, you're going to drink this. And he gives me a little, shot on the rocks of rum. I'm like, they don't even cut it with anything. You just drink it straight. He's like, oh, yeah. And I take a sip, and I'm just like, I don't know. I was always used to Bacardi and all that garbage. And I take a sip, and I'm just like, oh, my God, this is amazing. So I loved it so much, in fact, that it's all I could think about for the rest of the trip. And so I bought myself a bottle.
Oh, Ralph's pants just got tighter.
Of
what is
Bahamian rum, which you drink straight, just right on ice, And it's super smooth, super tasty, and it doesn't have that burn or, that disgusting taste. So I'm going to make myself a little bit of that right now. And you know what, Dave? I gotta say, you're onto something here.
Now you can start getting into. Now this could be your gateway into tiki. All of a sudden you'll be drinking pink. You'll be drinking pink drinks with mint and orange juice and all that kind of stuff. Well, and this wasn't planned or anything, but I am drinking rum tonight. I'm drinking some Clarin Le Rocher from Haiti. This is a Haitian rum.
Now, do you usually go clear rum or dark rums?
No, actually I'm an equal opportunity
drinker
employer when it comes to rum.
Well, after the show, I'll have to get some tips from you now that you're
Kevin,
the expert.
I
bow to you. I wait for your further instruction.
Well, look, I gotta whisper this because my wife might hear me, but I've got like 23 different kinds of rums.
Jesus. Kevin, what are you drinking tonight?
If she knew that, that would open the door to her spending a bunch of money on whatever she would want to spend it on. So you can't have that.
Yeah.
Kevin, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a new type of whiskey. Well, I mean, new for me. It is called Redwood Empire.
Fancy.
A rye whiskey.
Not sponsored, by the way.
Say again?
We are not sponsored, by the way.
No, not a sponsor. I just like showing the labels. That's all.
And you obviously bought that for that label. That label has Kevin Held written all over it.
I literally was just like, I want to try something new. So I just poked around and was like, well, this seems out of the ordinary, so I'll give it a go.
Because of the weight.
Now, tell me, do you drink this on ice as well?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Or if you don't, you just drink it
neat?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I never throw anything. If either I just pour it in the glass or I have a couple of cubes, that's it. There's never anything else. I'm trying to find out what the
blonde.
45% alcohol by wait a minute. That looks like 45% alcohol by volume.
Right, Ralph's drinking beer. Andrew, your dad is in the chat. He's asking, "What about Jamaican rum?" Jamaican rum is my favorite, my all-time favorite go-to Jamaican rum.
That's better than Bahamian or
is Smith and Cross. Jamaica's kind of like I think they're kind of like the best at at rum. But like every country,
you gotta text me. Let me know
I will. Every country and every island makes their own kind of rum, and they all do it differently. So they all have like their own different things. But like Jamaica is Jamaica is kind of like But so I like Smith and Cross. It's super funky. It's great for tiki. It's inexpensive. But yeah, I for sure.
Ralph, what was that beer you were drinking?
This is Shiner Strawberry Blonde.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh.
It's not as good as Abita Strawberry, but I couldn't find Abita Strawberry.
All right.
Supply chain must be wrecked.
Covington Strawberry is better than Abita Strawberry. I'm just going to say that out loud.
Covington Strawberry is the best.
Yeah.
If I could get it.
Is Covington even around?
I'd love you forever.
I have no idea.
I don't even know if Covington Brewery is still around.
Still around.
Do you think it might be done?
Yeah, I'm going to look this up. I haven't heard of them in years.
So, speaking of not doing anything in years, that's a good segue to the Saints off season. There's no Saints news. There's no Honey Badger. There's no wide receiver. There's no nothing. It's just rampant speculation about what the Saints are going to do with these 2 picks they have in the first round. But my question to you, Andrew, are the Saints going to do anything before April 28th? Which is the day of the draft. Are they going to make any moves? Are they going to do anything? Come on.
What is that, 17 days away?
That is correct.
Yeah, see, now we're getting to that part of the offseason where, as you see, obviously the Eagles are interested in on Tyrann Mathieu as well. My understanding is that the Eagles are offering him more money currently than the Saints are.
Okay, but I mean, he wants to play for us. He wants to be home. We get the hometown discount.
Well, that's the thing. We're not
so
far. Yeah.
Why hasn't he signed yet then? Why hasn't he gone to the Eagles?
I think he wants to come to the Saints, and he's waiting to see if, that's still a negotiation. But I think here's the thing when you get this close to the draft is a lot of times the veterans and their agents, they'll play it as, we're waiting to see if they draft a guy. It's not really that so much as if they don't draft a guy at that position, they become more desperate to fill it. And they know it's a need. So it's like, hey, you didn't draft a guy. You need me even worse now. So show me a little bit of money and I'll come there. So, there's a financial angle there that, and so that's the thing. Like a lot of times there can be this game of chicken. And we saw it with Adrian Peterson, right? And he ended up signing right before the draft, I believe. But it's a lot of time you see this with free agents right before the draft where there's this game of chicken where it's like, do you take the offer to make sure that you're on the team so they won't draft a guy? And in Adrian Peterson's case, it was interesting because they ended up trading up and drafting Kamara anyway. Or do you wait and then maybe you have a little bit more leverage if they haven't drafted at your position? So,
Kevin, if I told you ex-Falcon general manager Thomas Dimitroff had a podcast and he had Mickey Loomis on live from New Orleans, and I said to you, you had to bet money, his podcast or our podcast with better audio in 2016. Who would you have bet on? That's the worst
joke I've ever heard. That was me, Thomas.
The better audio, I would have bet on them.
You would have been wrong.
You would have been wrong.
That Mickey Loomis interview with Thomas Dimitroff that audio was horrific.
Do we
have I gotta say though,
clips of it?
The one thing about that podcast that was amazing is Mickey Loomis said the words, "I hate the Falcons." He actually said that on the podcast.
And we haven't clipped that and made that a soundbite?
No, because the audio doesn't meet our standards anymore with Thomas
And we don't,
running the show.
but we don't have like a clip of how bad the audio. I want to hear it.
It's bad.
I mean, Thomas, you need to find that clip of Mickey Loomis saying, "I hate the Falcons." That
is it worse quality than this?
It is.
We got the blue
Took you a while.
Nice.
It's probably about the same.
I mean,
Bracket.
Coming soon.
Why is that quality so terrible? It does not sound like that on my phone.
Why is that quality so terrible? It does not sound like that on my phone. Still proud of myself for recording a multi-track song.
Kevin, the only reason I brought up the Mickey Loomis Thomas Dimitrov interview was, one, I wanted to bang on their audio quality, which was horrific. But two, I think it's a good point. It's a good discussion point in that is 2022, and Andrew's going to yell at me for being a prisoner of the moment, but whatever. You know Saints history as well as Andrew. We go back into the 80s, 90s. This feels like the biggest and most important and potentially craziest draft in Saints history, because we have no idea what they're going to do. Even when Ditka in 99, when he traded the whole draft, we knew what he wanted to do. It's like, he's either going to get Ricky Williams and trade everything, or he's not. With the Saints, we have no idea what they're going to do on the 28th. Is this potentially the most important and wildest Saints draft in history?
No on both.
Not even close. First of all, 2006.
Well, hang on, man. Hang on. He did ask me, and I actually have an answer. So let me at least get this answer out. This isn't just me.
Dave, don't get all cocky and arrogant just because I paid you a little compliment at the beginning of the show. All right. Don't think you're like walking on water all of a sudden.
I'm the host now.
Well, Dave thinks he's the main character today.
I think I'm the main character.
Everyone has a hard time listening to Dave.
Right.
Kevin,
the wildest one was the Ricky Williams draft because, again, they traded all of their goddamn picks to get one player.
And he wore a wedding dress afterwards.
Most important draft in the team's history. You can just go back 16 years to the 2006 draft. I would argue that was more important. You had a new coach, new quarterback, new everything, coming back from a disaster. If that draft is bungled, it's entirely possible we're talking about the San Antonio Saints. It's still possible. Or the Los Angeles Saints, or whatever the hell. That draft was critical. Yeah, this draft is important, but most important, I don't know. I don't feel that way.
Ladies and gentlemen, this segment was brought to you by Ralph Malbrough, the prisoner of the moment.
I just feel like it's critical, and Dave,
you're like your best like Cowherd impression. Like,
I'm just saying, it's critical that the Saints win. Mickey Loomis wears his hat backwards. He's not a real GM.
I will say this: if you've been with this podcast long enough, since the beginning, then you've probably heard me refer to a draft as a fork in the road for the Saints. I think I've done that twice, and this is the third time I would say that since we started this podcast. This feels like another fork in the road where they have 2 first-round picks. They could nail this and really set themselves up for the future. Or they could blow it.
Say that about every draft.
No, but Dave,
this is like what's crazy about this.
But they have 2 first-round picks in the top 20, Dave.
They have 2. Dave, they have 2 first-round picks. They don't have one next year. They're kind of sort of starting to clean up the cap, and the cap goes up in 2 years when Jameis Winston contract expires. The contract goes up to $250 million. So depending on how they do with these picks, you could be talking about having a quarterback on a rookie deal. You could be talking about in year 3, in 2 years from now. You could be talking about having his left tackle of the future blocking his blind side on a rookie deal in year 3. And quarterback and left tackle, like if you nail these picks and you got good players on rookie deals, those are the most expensive positions.
Dave,
you could build around that.
The thing about this draft, Dave, is you don't know this is the first time in Saints history that I can remember of. They might pick one pick in the first round because they might trade up. They might use 2.
Right.
They might have 3 because they might trade back into the back of the first round to get a quarterback. You don't know how it's going to go.
And you know what? And you don't know how it's going to go. And the Saints don't know how it's going to go. Right. But you don't know. And you never will.
You think you know, that's right. But you don't know. And you never will.
A little slow on the trigger.
Making it rain.
We got a sign up. Jay Ford. Thank you.
I think
tier 1 sub. Thank you.
I think the Saints' plan is that they don't have a plan. I think the Saints are at the end of this draft. Mickey Loomis is going to do.
You're telling me Mickey Loomis doesn't have a plan?
Let me finish. Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish?
Ross Perot references here.
Can I finish?
30 years later.
We are so old.
Why is that quality so terrible? It does not sound like that on my phone. Their plan is that there is no plan. And what I mean by that is they're going, and after the draft, I bet you $50 that you are going to hear this phrase from Mickey Loomis's mouth. We were going to let the draft come to us. What I mean by that is they have their picks. I think they have 3 or 4 kind of scenarios. You know, if the quarter they have guys that they like, and if the quarterback that they like falls down low enough to where they can trade up with a team that they're comfortable with and have a relationship with, and they can get the quarterback, they'll do that. If that doesn't happen, and there's a lot of offensive linemen on the board.
Speaking to the mic.
If some of those offensive linemen fall, maybe they'll do that, or wide receivers. Like, I don't think that they have a set plan. I really don't. I think they have multiple plans, and it's just going to depend on what happens on draft day. And I think that's what they've always done since Jeff Ireland's been here. They've kind of let the draft come to them.
You know, Dave,
that's the smartest thing you've ever said on this podcast. I know.
You had a lot of goodwill at the beginning of the show. It's all gone.
Get out of here. You know I'm right. You think they have just one plan and they have to just get, and they have set guys that they're going for and they're going to get them hell or high water? You think that's what they're doing? No way.
Your statement, Mickey Loomis doesn't have a plan, might be the dumbest thing you've ever said.
You're taking it too literally. You're not understanding what I'm saying.
He has plans. He doesn't have one. He has multiple. They have multiple.
He has a plan, and that plan is that he has no.
Oh, he's got lots of plans.
It's the same thing as if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. Well, this is the opposite.
But Kevin, I feel like that there is a scenario where the Saints could look at it and say, "Hey, we trade down. Maybe it's a new, Dave said it last week. Maybe it's a new day. Dennis Allen's the coach. Sean Payton's gone. Like, maybe they trade down. Maybe not at 16 or 19, but later in the draft. Like, my thing is they need bodies.
I said that last week.
You said that last week.
Did I not say that last week?
You said it last week.
Kevin, you've never not said that. You have wanted to trade down since the Stone Ages.
He wanted to trade down in 2018 when they had the best roster in football and they had like no spots where rookies could make. Kevin's like, get us a rookie class of 12. It'll work out. We'll put him on the practice squad. It'll be fine. But Kevin, the thing that I find fascinating about this draft is, why do you think Saints fans on Twitter have become so sort of anti-quarterback? And there's a large chunk, I would say maybe close to 50%, that are like, Jameis is the guy. Don't draft a quarterback. Don't trade up, but don't draft a quarterback at all. He's the guy. I don't understand that.
It's a combination of things, Ralph. Okay. One, you have a very small subset that actually do believe Jameis is the guy. 2, you have another subset of people that look at this look at the quarterbacks present, and they don't see the home run. They don't see the can't miss guy. They don't see the Andrew Luck, so to speak. And 3, even if, how many times have we heard the football analysts talk about, oh, this person is a can't miss guy. This is a guy that could be playing that could play in the league, that could be a starter for 10 years or whatever. And it turns out they're an absolute bust. I mean, we heard, I remember, look, I can't point to who. I remember hearing draft analysts and experts of types saying Jake Locker was a guy who could be a starter. The fella from Oklahoma who won the Heisman a long time ago. No. Well, Bradford too.
Baker Mayfield?
No, not Mayfield.
Colton
Hypo.
Like buzz cut white guy, like looked whiter than me.
Whoa.
Jason White?
Jason White.
Jason White.
That was his name?
How did I pull his name out of my ass? I can't remember what I did yesterday, yet I know that.
You weren't talking about his name. You were referring to his skin color.
His name's Jason. Shut up, Dave. Drink more rum.
Okay.
So people are like, all right, I'm tired of being told by analysts, all right, this quarterback seems like he can't miss. Well, how many times do people roll the dice with a super early pick on a quarterback and it ends up amounting to jack shit? At least, and this is maybe me projecting, people look at Jameis and they're like, okay, we already know what we have with him. Let's sort of hold pat with him, fill out extra spots that we need, because as I enunciated last week, there's a lot of spots to fill.
There is.
And get depth in a lot of other positions. We can do that while hanging on to Jameis, and then in year 2, we can see who's coming out from college and maybe draft them, depending. I don't know.
Making it rain.
Thank you, Tiger Saint. We appreciate you. The best.
Attribute that to my expert analysis there.
By the way, people, this is another reason why you need to be a patron, is Andrew legitimately has sources. He pesters people until they block him on his phone, or he talks to them and they give him information. He does it in the Discord. He does it in the Patrons Only podcast. You should join because of that. But Andrew, I get the sense that the Saints did the 2 picks, and maybe it's not a smoke screen because I saw rumors that they're trading up, but maybe that they're like, no, like it isn't going to be Mickey Loomis's Sistine Chapel of trading up. Maybe they're like, hey, we just want as many picks in this draft as possible because we really like this draft. And I'm feeling better about the Saints maybe not trading up. Is me and Kevin, is our fear about them not trading up? Do you when you eat the tape, do you get the sense that maybe they got these 2 picks not for a quarterback, but just because this draft is really good?
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think first of all, for what Dennis Allen wants to do, my understanding is that Jameis Winston is kind of like the perfect guy, or they think that he can maximize what Dennis Allen is after. So I believe they will not trade up for a quarterback. I believe they will stay put at 16 and 19. And I'll take that a step further. And look, here's the thing about 16 and 19. They don't control what happens in front of them. And so, the draft is very fluid. Depending on the guys that get picked, we'll have to see who's available, and then the Saints will react to that. So a lot of things can happen. Yeah, a lot of things can happen. We have to wait and see. So a lot of it is just kind of like you prepare yourself, you do the mock drafts, you kind of exhaust all the scenarios so that you're prepared and regardless of how it falls, like what guys you would take in certain scenarios. But I think in a perfect scenario, they probably leave this draft with a tackle and a receiver at 16 and 19. Now, the tackles that they want may not fall to 16. There's 3 really good ones. They're probably all going to go before 16. And so then the question becomes, does a defensive player drop to them. If I had to guess right now, I don't think the Saints will have a quarterback after the first round in the draft. That's the sense I get.
Dave, what would be funnier? The Saints not taking a receiver or Kevin losing his mind when they trade up? What would be funnier on that?
There's nothing funny about the Saints not drafting a receiver in the first round. There's zero humor in that.
Again, I mean, we talked about this on our podcast.
Yeah.
Y'all need different sad music. You can't use my sad music.
Yeah, that belongs to Kevin.
Yeah, that's right. I think Kevin's got you there, Thomas. I think you need Kevin sad music and draft sad music.
How dare you just bastardize this?
Seriously, you've taken away some of the. Yeah, it's not special.
It's not pure anymore. It's been.
You ruin everything, Thomas.
I think the Saints. Andre George. I think the Saints are ultimately coached by Dennis Allen, a defensive coach. And if a defensive player falls to him at 16, he's going to tell Pete Carmichael and the boys, to hell with y'all. This guy fell to us, and I just got a chance to make my defense even more awesome than it already was.
Bleep that offense.
Yeah. Right. I'm taking this dude. Like, you got another first-round pick. I might use that on your offensive player to make, I might throw you a bone at 19, but this guy's here at 16. I'm taking him. And we should all be prepared for that.
It's the same thing as when Sean Payton would see, a small, speedy, pass-catching running back, that he just had to have in every offense he ran and had to replace whoever was coming out. So I think Andrew's right.
But I will say this. When they traded up constantly, and this should be a solace to you, Kevin, of all people. When they traded up a bunch, it was mostly Sean. It was mostly Sean being like, that's my guy, go get him. Done. Sean was an extremely impulsive head coach. Now, I will say this. He was kind of a no stone unturned, devil in the details, buried in the tape, buried in, just the nuances. So while he was reactionary and he went with his gut a lot of times, his gut was very educated. And his gut was correct in a lot of instances.
How was his gut fauna?
Because he would spend the time, right?
He's a big kombucha drinker.
That's right. He would spend his time to kind of dial things in. And so, but I think sometimes he would, and then he would be right a lot of times. And I think that would feed his ego. That would feed the monster to where he'd try to double down. And that's when he would start to make mistakes. Marcus Davenport, maybe Troutman. And so, but I think a lot of it was Sean. Remember when Jeff Ireland first came to the Saints? His whole thing was
Charles Brown.
He preached temperance. He was like, "Hey guys, we don't have to trade up to get this guy. We can wait." Remember that was his big thing when he first came. And I think he's going to have more influence now. Mickey Loomis is kind of more of like a collaborator.
Sean King.
That's how he leads. He said this on the Dimitrov podcast. And so I think the real question is, what's Dennis Allen like? And if he's a guy that's like, you know what? Our roster is not that deep. Let's trade down. I want to get another guy in the top 50.
You're like Lucy with the football, with Charlie Brown, with Kevin. This is just wrong what you're doing here.
I'm teasing Kevin.
Look,
like
this is
angling my little.
If you're little carrot.
Yeah, little carrot.
If you're listening to this, if you're a Saints fan, I think what I really, me personally, Dave Cariello, would like you to keep in mind and to start incorporating in your daily routine is that this again, this is a Dennis Allen team now. It's not Sean Payton. We are used to 16 years of Sean Payton doing things, and like shit's different, man. Things have changed. Like this draft is going to be different. The rest of the offseason is going to be different. This offseason has been different already, I guess, in a little bit. But like, you can't stop. You have to stop looking at the Saints through the prism of Sean Payton, because that prism is not there anymore. You have to realize there's a new thing. And honestly, you can't look at it through the prism of Dennis Allen yet, because we don't really know what that is. So you have to just kind of take a step back. I'm going to take a step back and enjoy it. And kind of to Ralph's point, I wouldn't say this is the most important draft, but I think it's certainly unique in the last 16 or 17 years because we don't know what to expect, and we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what Dennis Allen is going to want to do or say. And
I will say this: I was tipped that Sean Payton is a big fan of Kenny Pickett, that he was really, really into him. And I'm told the Saints are not as much now that Sean Payton's not in the building.
What Andrew, for finally Kevin to have his moment of a trade down for the Saints, what should me and him be rooting for as we're watching the draft? If we're just like, what we want the Saints to do is trade down from either 16 or 19. What should we root for as a Saints fan? Because it used to be so clear. Like, we just need to root for offensive players to come off the board. But now, like, do we want the quarterbacks to come off the board? Do you want the like, what do we, for me and Kevin, to get our dream, or Kevin's dream of the trade down, what do you think needs to happen in order for that to at least be as much a possibility as it possibly can?
So I think the quarterback thing is a double-edged sword. Everyone's saying how bad these guys are, and I would just point out that, like, right now, everyone who said that last year's class was amazing, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, like, they were all kind of awful. I mean, Mac Jones was the best one of them all, and he wasn't that good, right? So, like, this was supposed to be a legendary class, and I would say the report card after year one, I still think they'll be good, but, like, their report card after year one is they were all kind of awful. So Davis Mills with the Texans might have been the best one, right? So I would say
Rum and Bluebell ice cream. Jesus, Dave, what are you?
I'm living
full-time. You're full Tom Benson.
Yeah, I was going to say, Gail, holler at me if you're looking for a replacement. I'm already ready. I've been training for this for years, baby.
So all it takes is one quarterback, right? Let's say Malik Willis, or let's say one of those guys. Let's say Desmond Ridder goes off his rookie season, and the rest of them are garbage. Then all of a sudden, like, they have a better report card than the rookies this past year. So I think it's a double-edged sword in the sense that everyone says they're garbage, and I don't buy that. But I don't think this is a great quarterback class. And what's interesting is I could see it going both ways, and you see this with the mocks. You see some mock drafts where no quarterback is taken, and then the Saints at 16 have their pick of the litter. Malik Willis is still there. Kenny Pickett's still there. Desmond Ridder's still there. They can pick any of them because no one's taking them, right? But then there's other mock drafts where the Panthers take a guy, and then the Falcons take a guy, and then Pickett and Willis are gone. And then all of a sudden, a team like the Steelers panics, and they trade up because they're like, dude, we're stuck with Trubisky. We got nobody behind him. So they trade up and they go get Ridder, and then all of a sudden there's this domino effect, and then these other teams are like, hold on a second, we got to get a quarterback. Do we force Matt Corral? Do we force Sam Howell? And, like, all of a sudden these guys that maybe would have been available mid to late second round get overdrafted, and it happens all the time. We've seen it a million times in the NFL draft, and so I think it could go either way. And the more I believe the Saints aren't taking a quarterback, the more I think that's the dream scenario, where all these guys start to fall like dominoes early because the Panthers kind of set the tone by making that first pick, and then Atlanta kind of panic picks Kenny Pickett, let's say, because Malik Willis is gone, or vice versa. And then, we see another move.
Here's my question, Kevin.
I'm not a draft guy, but, like, Malik Willis, like, he plays for Liberty. Like, is he really that good? Like,
Liberty.
Like, who does Liberty play? Like,
not sponsored, by the way.
No one.
Yeah, but
to me, this sounds crazy. Like, I would
have
serious concerns about him playing at this.
He has like Lamar Jackson vibes.
Here's my question, Kevin. I was thinking.
That's why people love him.
Well, who did Lamar Jackson play for in college?
Louisville.
Louisville.
Okay.
Jesus, how did I know that?
You know everything, man. You're right, man.
here's the question I forgot to ask.
Hey, Ralph, we just got a text, by the way, from our good friend of the show, Raymond Parch, who is a Lafayette radio personality. He always has us on his show. Great dude. Love him. He says, I know Ralph did something wrong in the last 24 hours. When I get texts from 3 different people asking, why does Ralph hate Jameis?
Oh, my God. Stop.
Why do you hate Jameis?
I don't hate Jameis.
What's your problem?
Like, I just would like the Saints to have a quarterback option in case Jameis continues to be Jameis. And, and listen, no NFL team made Jameis their number 1 option at quarterback this offseason. Not even the Saints. So, no one is really sold on Jameis. I'm not sold on Jameis. Get me an option. But here's the question I wanted to ask Kevin originally before we get to the mock draft.
Why do you hate
Kevin, we know that
you hate Jameis.
I do. It's fair.
Why do you hate fun? He throws Hail Marys. They're so much fun.
You go to hell, Dave. Kevin, I was thinking of this. The cap nerds hate the Saints because they bend the cap and they make it fun and void years inside of Easter eggs and all that fun. We've had fun with that for years and years.
And they have Taysom Hill. Don't forget that.
And they gave Taysom Hill $140 million of monopoly money.
Use that as a GIF, everybody.
But here's the thing, Kevin. If the Saints, they've traded up and given a 2023 first and a 2024 second to get up into the first round. If they then trade back again, the draft nerds will be utterly freaking confused. And I want this so bad. Like, I want their heads to like explode when they don't know, because that is basically taking the draft value chart and putting it in a cannon and firing it into the sun. If you trade up for an extra first round pick and then back, that would be bananas. But do you think it would be as fun as we had with the cap nerds, where we just got to stunt all over them when the Saints were signing people with $8 of cap space? Could it potentially be as fun?
If you want maximum fun of messing with everyone, maybe even including most Saints fans, here's what you do. And I've already thought of this because
this should be good.
Trade up and take a defensive lineman.
I swear to Christ, if they take both those ones and trade up into the top 5, I'm going to... Here's what you do for maximum fun, for me anyway. You take both picks and you trade them. And you go back and you accumulate second-round picks. You get out of the first round entirely.
Entirely.
Wow. And you just get as many second-round picks or third-round picks as you can. Oh, but we're going to miss out on the first run, this or that. Listen, you can get starting players, guys that are going to be on your team for 8 to 10 years outside of round 1. I know that's hard for people to believe, that there are starting players in the NFL that weren't drafted in the first round. I know that might blow some people's minds, that you can't get a franchise
How many second round picks is maximum fun, Kevin? That's what I want to know.
Might sound crazy
8 of them.
I know it might sound crazy that you can't get a franchise player outside of the first 2 rounds.
10. I need
but
10
it does happen.
10 second round picks. And every third pick the Saints.
So how many, Kevin?
I don't care. Just give them to me. 10. Give them to me.
Just once. Just once.
Hey, all of them.
Dave, remember when I told you were an idiot a minute ago? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do, but
you're off the hook.
To be
second round picks
fair, Andrew,
sounds low-key amazing. Do you know how many breaking news podcasts we could have if they had 10 second round picks?
To be fair, Andrew, Kevin is saying what I said a couple of weeks ago, and I knew Kevin agreed with me wholeheartedly when I said that at the time. But I mean, this was the scenario I proposed a couple of weeks ago, and I'm with Kevin. I'm all for it. Trade them both, like eight second round picks. Just own the second round,
dude. I mean, you could fix receiver. You just pick 3 of them.
That's exactly what I said like 2 weeks ago. Like
tight end, O-line.
To Kevin's point, the more bodies you have, the more chances you have at striking oil.
I don't want the Saints to do this because, I don't want them to be the guinea pig. But it would be hilarious to see some franchise go the full Kevin Held. Like, trade every first, third, fourth, trade everything. And
the Patriots used to kind of do that. The Patriots got pretty close to doing that. And you want to know where it led them to? 6 freaking Super Bowls, okay?
The Patriots in recent years have been low-key awful at drafting.
Right, and that's why they've
Seattle
sucked now.
too. And they trade.
I sat and watched the movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner. Because
oh my God.
In my head...
Did you just name drop Kevin Costner?
In my head, I thought to myself, I know what's going to happen. Costner knows he's going to get fired anyway, so he's going to do this wild-ass magnanimous thing where he trades out of the first round and the second round and accumulates and stockpiles draft picks.
Who made that cartoon?
So that way the Cleveland Browns...
Credit to Bodrich.
That way the Cleveland Browns would be saved forever and a day, but he would sacrifice his career for the good of the franchise by trading down and stockpiling picks for the future. But no! They had to do some stupid ass, he traded down here, but then he comes back in later and gets this other pick that he wanted and all this other kind of nonsense. Hogwash, I tell you. Absolute hogwash. Hogwash.
Ralph, if you had to sacrifice one member of this podcast to ensure that one of these 2 picks for the Saints was a Hall of Famer, which one of us would you sacrifice?
Why would it be,
obviously between
why
me
would it
and
be Kevin? Why would it be me? I mean, let's face it. Why would it be me?
Who would you sacrifice and why would it be Kevin?
Yeah. I mean, shit, a Hall of Famer? A Hall of Famer? Get me on the rocket. I'll launch myself into the sun.
This is the Hall of Famer. Is he going to have a clean off the field record?
This is the Hall of Fame in Canton we're talking about, right? Not the Saints Hall of Fame near the train factory, right?
Did you ask if he has a clean off the field record?
Yeah, is he? Because if he doesn't, then Kevin will just walk away on his own. I won't have to
He's
sacrifice.
In the Hall of Fame. Does it matter?
No.
To Kevin, it matters.
Listen,
I would sacrifice myself and put Thomas in charge,
and then
this ship would run way tighter.
You're getting a clean player
Thomas
then.
would be in charge.
At least the audio would work.
That's right. So we got to get to the mock draft. We are way over time. This podcast might go 90 minutes, 2 hours.
What mock draft?
No.
I blame
tonight. So we're running a 4-round mock draft, and we're going to run another one. We're going to run one the week of the draft. We're going to try to figure out what the Saints are going to do that one. But this one, we're going to run as what we would do. We're going to run the mock draft. Thomas has got the graphics. It's going to be amazing. We're going to argue over the players. Roger Goodell is going to make picks.
Archimage wants to know where Dave keeps going. Clearly the bathroom.
Ooh, I like that.
Hey, Dave, how was your bathroom trip?
I didn't go to the bathroom. I put the ice cream away. I just polished off a half a pint of ice cream. I can't be
that's
trusted.
Halo's music.
I had a bag of dried organic mango from Whole Foods. So I literally put that down and went and got mint chocolate chip ice cream instead and ate half a pint. These are the decisions.
So you're hopped up on sugar. You're ready to make the call on these picks. Thomas, we're running the mock. Who's available at 6? We're picking at 16. Who's available? We got Trevor Penning, Jameson Williams, Bernard Raymond, offensive tackle, Central Michigan, Jordan Davis, defensive lineman, Georgia, Chris Olave, wide receiver, Ohio State. They all meet the RAS qualifications, Andrew, because the Saints. As Andrew explained,
we don't know Jameson. We don't know Jameson Williams, but yes,
we don't know his RAS score.
Where's Trey Down?
He had an ACL tear in the championship game, so he's.
So here's the thing, Dave.
So hold on.
This is who's available at 16. What are we doing here?
Okay, I'm going to tell you what we're doing. First of all, we don't have a RAS score in Jameson Williams. That to me, that almost that might disqualify him in the eyes of the Saints. I'm a little worried about that.
I think he'd be over a 9 if he went to the combine.
Well, Andrew thinks so. Andrew's word is good. But here's my question actually: who is at 17 and 18? Because I want both Trevor Penning and Jameson Williams, and I want to pick whoever I think is more likely to get taken at 17 or 18.
I think I think Williams is more likely to get taken at 17.
Then I would take Williams,
18,
and then I would hope.
Well, Dave, 18
I would hope
Green
that
Bay
is
in
there.
the sim. Green Bay traded up and took the receiver from USC, Drake London.
Who's that? 17
Wait.
18?
No, you're not. You can't tell him that. That's cheating. We have to decide right now who the 16th pick is. You can't tell him who goes at 17.
Look,
that's
I'm gonna.
God.
I'm going to be the wet blank
You're like,
here.
you've already ruined this whole experience.
No.
You think Mickey Loomis runs a draft and he's like, hey, I'm at 16, but like, I don't want to pick until you tell me what the guy at 18 is going to do.
I meant 15.
Because I might want to flip it and do the guy at 19 at 16 if I know the guy at 18 is going to be taken.
Eating Urkelos?
I meant 15. I'm looking at it, dude. I meant 15.
What's wrong with you?
All right.
Green Bay moved up to 15.
Okay. Who picks at 17 and 18? What teams?
Philadelphia picks at 18, and who picks at? The Chargers pick at 17. No. Drake London went 15.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna go.
I guess Jameson Williams.
I'm going Jordan Davis.
What?
Jordan
defensive line?
Yep.
No. Can you blow up the screen again so I can see it? Because I'm looking at the big.
Jordan Davis is the best player on this board.
I need to see. Shit. Let me see.
Also, a guy from Central Michigan? Really?
Jordan Davis.
Blown up knee, Jude. Just not a soft tissue injury. I don't trust the Saints medical staff.
I'm not doing exactly, Ralph. Exactly. I am not taking the Alabama guy with an exploded knee. You're going to tell me we're going to draft a wide... What's a wide receiver do? Just stand still and catch passes? No, he's got to run to a spot, catch, and then keep on running. Oh, he's got an exploded knee. He'll be fine. It's perfectly normal.
I mean, it is kind of normal in the NFL.
If you're a patron,
we are not taking Jameson Williams with pick 16 or pick 19, if I have anything to say about it.
If you're a patron, you know that the Saints' #1 receiver that they like the most is not Jameson Williams.
So I say, let us go with Bernard Raymond.
No.
Ooh, you're going with the Austrian. He's going with the Austrian.
Give me O-line.
Trevor.
We could do Hans and Franz jokes. I'd
rather take Trevor Penning.
Dude,
I'm going Jordan Davis.
Trevor Penning.
God.
His video is ridiculous. Like, it's like me playing football with Max, and I only have one good arm. Like, he just destroys people.
We're not going.
I think you messed up your analogy there.
Having
one good arm.
I'm destroying him. Yeah, I messed.
Yeah.
I messed up a lot with this draft.
That makes no sense, Ralph.
No,
you should have Max, 2 good arms destroying Max. That's what Trevor Penning's like.
Maybe your wife playing Max.
Your analogy was like it would be like me playing football with Max in the yard with 2 good arms.
That's right.
That's your analogy.
Thomas, I think the commissioner's going to the podium. Who's the pick?
With the 16th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Trevor Penning, offensive tackle, Northern Iowa.
Roger Goodell.
That feels a little high.
Roger Goodell sounds a little different in our simulation.
Look at this. Sounds a little Polish.
Dude, he's kind of mean and nasty. Like, look at this. Like, dude.
Wait, so which is that Max or is that you?
That's me, probably. He's just beating his dad to a pulp. It's wrong.
Can we just hear? Wait. Who made the decision in this? The simulator picks this.
The Saints did.
The Saints did it. We did it. We did it as a group. We did. You know.
I don't remember saying Trevor.
They need a tackle, and this dude. I feel like if he had
9.96 RAS.
Like he fits all the.
Pants down, Juge.
He fits all the criteria. So now the clock continues to move. Thomas, who is available at 19? Oh, see, we got
Kenny
Jameis.
Pickett's available. I didn't know Kenny Pickett would be available.
Wait, does that mean that Olave got picked?
They did.
Wait, Olave's gone and
God, I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that.
They're both gone?
That's correct.
Wait, so Jordan Davis went at 17 and Olave went at 18?
That is correct.
Ugh.
So the guy with the exploded knee is dropping like a stone.
What are we going to do on draft night for the podcast? Are we going to go live when they pick 16 and then stay on the podcast while they pick
That is correct. It'll be a long night for Thomas.
Give me Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, you got to take Pickett. Come on, this guy falls to you?
Yeah, give me Kenny
Pickett. You got
to
do it. This is
the thing about receiver. I really wanted Olave, and I actually, if Jordan Davis wasn't there, I would have argued for Olave over Penning. But since Olave's gone, I think you go Pickett here. Again with James Williams, the ACL. Like, there's just too many good receivers in this draft. You can get one in the second round.
I kind of like this. If they go with Kenny
Kevin,
Pickett.
What can you do? Medicine's not a science.
The Saintsiest pick here, Kevin. It's Jameson Williams, right?
Why is that Saintsy?
Because he's hurt and it's a giant risk.
Yeah.
I mean, and Dave, you can go Jameis to Jameson t-shirts.
Ooh, I do like that. What about Desmond Ridder? Are we feeling Desmond Ridder here?
No. Kenny Pickett. My God.
I mean, couldn't we
arguably the number one quarter? I don't see a scenario. I don't understand this simulator. You're telling me that the number one quarterback in the draft fell all the way to 19?
But that's the thing. The PFF simulator hates Kenny Pickett.
This is the PFF simulator?
Yes, right.
So there's some bias to the simulator.
They hate the quarterback.
No, this is the real draft. What simulator?
Every simulator is going to have bias, Dave. Every simulator.
That's not true. You could, I don't. You could just.
I'm going to go. You know what? True, yes. I'm going to go Trey Burks. I'm going to go Trey Burks.
All right. No, Kenny Pickett. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Pickett, fine. Pickett.
We're like we've all been talking about how the Saints might trade up to get Kenny Pickett, and then he just falls to us, and we're not going to take Kenny Pickett.
All right. I think the commissioner's going to the podium.
Oh, I can't wait to hear the commissioner.
Kenny Pickett, screw it.
This is my favorite part.
With the 19th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Jameson Williams, wide receiver, Alabama.
That's crap. That is crap.
Wait, look at these highlights, though. I mean,
before his knee exploded.
These look great when his ACL was working.
You and Andrew made these picks.
No, I didn't. I was not involved in this.
We were all involved. You got the rundown 2 days ago.
I got Mickey Loomis on the phone, man. Come on.
Look at his highlights, man.
Wait.
Are you telling me Ralph made these
before his knee was wrecked?
Look at his knee. It looked so good back then.
It did.
Look at that knee.
I mean,
look at that ACL.
Yeah, well, look. I mean, at least we know the video. I mean, look. At least we know the film. We can show the doctors in Argentina when we send him there.
I mean, think of the
funny.
Fun.
I don't give a rat's ass what y'all think.
Think of the fun we can have with the breaking news podcast in the summer when he has a setback with the knee.
Look at this catch.
Terrible. Yeah, amazing catch.
Zion Williamson wants the Saints to draft this guy.
Well, this draft sucks.
This is wow.
I hate it.
I mean, they got a tackle, they got a receiver. I think Saints Twitter would be pleased with this draft.
I'm still very confused.
We overdrafted Penning and we took an ACL broken dude.
It's very Saintsy. It's very high risk, high reward.
Who made these? I still have not gotten an answer. Who made these decisions? Andrew says he did not pick these.
No.
Mickey Loomis did. He called me, man. He called me, man. He called me, man.
This draft, I feel like this draft is
Dave?
People,
I mean, like who? Well, when we were on the clock in this simulator, who said pick Jameis Williams over Kenny Pickett?
I'm gonna send you the receipts after the podcast, man. If you don't believe me.
Hey, if y'all are mad, hey, if you're mad now, just wait. We're at pick 32. I've paused the simulator. All the quarterbacks are available.
This is ridiculous. This isn't even real.
Should we trade up with Detroit to 32?
Sure.
Kevin?
I hate all of you.
Wait, where are the quarterbacks? Well, where's...
No, I'm just... This is...
at 32. Right, at 32.
So... We're not gonna do it. Now we don't want to.
Now that I know that these are the options at 49, yes, let's trade up to get the quarterback.
Yeah,
I spoiled it, man. Sorry,
I spoiled it. We didn't. I wanted Thomas. You hit the button too quick on the simulator. I wanted Kevin's head.
This is why I'm annoyed that we took Jameson Williams, because we could have gotten George Pickens at 49, and we could have Kenny Pickett. Too.
The best available left is Zion Johnson.
Zion, no. End of story. No, we're not taking a Zion.
There's no Zion. Got Zion.
No other Zions are allowed in the city of New Orleans until we figure out the Zion we got.
Kevin can fund his wrestling addiction by betting the over if the Saints take Zion Johnson. How many times I call him Zion Williamson?
Oh, yeah.
He's the highest rated guy
Zion
left.
Williamson?
It would be nice. It would be nice to have a Zion that actually plays in games.
He's 20. He's 26, he's 32 on the PFF board. He's 24 on other boards. So he's the highest rated guy by far left.
I'm doubling down at receiver. Give me Pickens.
RAS scores next to their names.
I know.
We'll have to do that next week.
You failed. Where's the RAS score?
Right. All right.
I'm taking another receiver. Pickens.
Get the lead out. Get Zion out. Let's get rid of Johan there, and let's go with the SEC guy. SEC speed.
The Johan guy that Kevin is referring to is Jahan Dotson.
Okay.
Johan.
Zion Johnson. His RAS is 9.55.
Oh my God!
Just so you know.
Yeah, they probably would take
dance
him.
just got tighter.
I know.
They probably would take him.
The
dance just got tighter. All school guys.
Leo Chanel, his 8 RAS, I see it as his 8.33. Not good.
Kevin went to
Is any relation to Coco Chanel?
Yeah, this is terrible. I'd say what's George Pickens' RAS score?
I'm looking it up.
Very high. Over 9.
What's that? 9.33.
Take him. I say take George Pickens.
I mean, you're going to double dip at SEC receivers?
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're going to do, because you know what? One of them has 2 working ACLs.
Exactly.
Have you people seen Cesar Ruiz play guard?
Okay.
I mean,
fair point.
Let's get the traffic cone out of our lives. I know it would infuriate Saints Twitter, but I feel like
now
here's my question.
You've been talking about drafts being Saintsy. Taking a guard turns it super Saintsy. I
think so. Yeah. I think so. So Thomas, the pick is in. Just tell us what the commissioner said.
You got to scream the Saints got Zion, though.
Yeah.
With the 49th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Zion Johnson, guard from Boston College.
Zion! I love this pick. I mean,
it's a whack stance he's got there.
Here's the thing. I want Cesar Ruiz off my television.
He's playing center here.
And this is a way to do that. You know?
Ugh.
And here's the thing, Andrew.
These highlights, he's at center.
Hey, was this supposed to be a good film?
This is the only film.
It's a scrimmage video.
Wait, the good film is coming. Don't worry. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
That's a good film.
There's the good Zion film. Look at that. I mean,
dang. Man, Zion Johnson's really good at basketball.
He is.
Wow, got another Jimmy Graham on our hands.
He's got hoops, man.
Who has healthier feet, Zion Johnson or Zion Williamson?
Probably Johnson.
God,
the best part of this draft is Andrew just gets angrier and angrier with each pick.
Nice picks, Ralph. Nice picks, Ralph.
Yeah, this draft sucks, Ralph.
Nice picks.
I like this draft.
Oh my god!
All you guys are like, you know what? Kevin's stupid talking about trading down. We need to keep these picks so we can get the right guys.
I think I like Kevin's idea of all second round picks better.
This is why you trade down. You get more chances.
More bites at the apple.
That's right. That's right. So, Thomas, who's available at 98?
Ooh.
Give me. Look, Trey Down is no longer available, so give me Trey McBride.
Oh yeah,
Danny McBride jokes.
I would take Trey McBride.
Wait, what do you have? A defensive tackle? I can't really read this. Pierce.
Kellen.
Damian Pierce at running back.
Offensive tackle.
I had Trey McBride.
I
had Trey McBride on my mock draft when I thought we were each individually.
Give me RAS scores or give me nothing.
Yeah, what's Trey McBride's RAS score?
He's
the top tight end in this draft, and I'm surprised he's fallen to the 98. That doesn't sound right.
Hang on,
I think his RAS is bad, McBride.
Trying to find it.
I would have thought he would have been in like the third round.
Let's see.
Yeah. Well, this is the third round.
I guess earlier.
His RAS is incomplete. I see it as 4.88, but it's incomplete.
All right. What about the defensive tackle?
I mean, since this is what the Saints are doing, they're definitely not going to take him.
That's an offensive tackle.
Offensive or defensive?
Oh, offensive tackle.
All right. Well, we already got that. What about the running back, Pierce? What's his RAS?
Damian.
Don't forget, Kamara's getting suspended probably. Kevin.
Just so you know, Deesh, his RAS 9.77.
Is he a pass catching?
No, he's an offensive tackle.
Damian
Pierce. Didn't Damian Pierce run all over LSU?
Probably.
Is he like a pass catching?
Who didn't?
Yeah.
What style running back?
What's his RAS? What's his RAS?
His
if he has one.
Ralph, you are grossly unprepared for this.
I am.
I don't know if he has one.
His RAS. Oh Jesus! His RAS is 6.6.
No, they're not going to take that.
Where are you finding that?
I just type in RAS and it comes up. I read that wrong. I thought it was 9.6 when I did these picks and sent them to you before the show.
You suck, Ralph.
You didn't send us who you were picking.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I did. Look at the rundown. You didn't open the rundown.
Just pick
What
Trey
do you
McBride,
mean Mickey
whatever.
Loomis made the picks, man?
This is pissing me off. I need to get a beer. Pick Trey McBride.
I like that Andrew's
This
mad.
draft sucks.
Fuck you, Andre George.
Tell him, Thomas.
Andrew doesn't know football.
Pierce is a 4.6 running back. So
you also, by the way, speaking of the rundown, you also skipped our discussion about Peyton and Marcus Colston.
We did, because we're over time.
Oh yeah, okay. You did have the picks in there. Did you add that like today? When did you add those?
I sent that to you like
Picks?
Saturday.
What are you talking about, man? Come on.
I got. All right.
I gotta mute Dave, man. What's he talking about?
I told y'all. You know, the funniest thing.
Mickey Loomis
the funniest thing about this show is the thumbnail is the 2022 draft that'll win the Saints a Super Bowl, and people will think we're all excited about the draft, and then they're listening to this podcast now, and everyone except for me openly hates this draft.
Hey, Ralph.
The only thing that would have made it unanimous in the hatred, except for me, is if I would have traded up, and then Kevin would have been been as irate. As
next time we do this, Ralph, make sure we do a pre-draft show between the four of us so we can get on the same page because this sucks.
This does not suck. This is a good draft.
I'm gonna send you a screenshot after the show, Joel. You're gonna love it.
I mean, he's right.
By the way, guys, last year we picked Peyton Turner in our mock draft, by the way, and you hated it. And guess who the Saints picked?
Yeah. Well,
see.
I can't wait to complain on draft day. If the Saints do this on draft day, I will puke.
Trevor
Penning's
Zion in the first round. Penning's okay. It started okay, but if they pass on Kenny Pickett, that's
Penning is overdrafted at 16.
But like, does it? Here's the thing, though. Like, by how much does it matter?
How much?
How much?
If he's good, does it matter?
No. But
you know.
All right, who are we picking here? Trey McBride.
I'm picking Kellen Beach.
I just went to get a beer and we're still waiting on the pick.
I love this draft because it made everyone angry. Thomas,
I'm not angry. I'm
already angry. Make this end.
Andrew's angry.
Vindicated.
But for the record, Andrew was sending me gushing text about Trevor Penning, and then his sources told him something different, and he's changed his tune. Thomas, the commissioner's going to the podium.
I love the commissioner.
First.
With the 98th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Dameon Pierce, running back from Florida.
I would pick a different running back probably, but I don't hate this pick.
He's a midget, apparently.
This actually makes me want to puke less than the other picks.
You can keep running when your helmet comes off?
I mean...
Yes. The Saints need a running back. They need a running back. And at some point in this draft, they need to come away with their number 2 guy. I don't really care when it is, but Kamara is probably going to be suspended. And Mark Ingram at his age is not a guy that you can count on to have 25 carries for 4 to 6 straight games until you wait for Kamara to come back. They need to find a kind of a stud, honestly.
Butterich likes the pick, and he eats the tape.
I like the pick. I actually, of this horrific, terrible draft, this pick right here kind of makes me feel a little better. I gotta say. Look at that. Look at him go down the seam.
Yeah,
what is this film sped up?
Did you speed the film up?
He looks good. Pretty fast.
Well, we'll do one more mock draft.
I'll tell you a quick tennis story.
Now that I know what we're doing.
When sometimes I'll play on the UVA courts outside, and there's a QR code. This is really cool technology where if you put your phone up to the QR code, it will record your match while you play, and it just downloads for free on your phone, and then you can go back and watch your match afterwards. So like me and my buddy, we hit on the UVA court, and we're just like, this is so cool. And so like we wanted to record our match, and we could watch my tape. I could watch my own tape of me playing afterwards. And so, I've watched a lot of tennis, right? Especially on like these kind of camera angles that come from high to low. And so I watched tape of myself playing, and I'm like, it's on slow motion. Like, how do I speed it up? and then my buddy texts me back, and he's like, no, bud, like that's us at real speed. And I was just like, oh my god.
God, I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that.
It was the most humiliating. Years old, man. It was the most humiliating thing I've ever watched in my life.
Well, we'll do one more mock draft. I personally hope that
we can't do any worse.
It agitates as much as this one, because if we're all in agreement and we all like
Kevin's gonna make the picks.
That's boring. No, we'll put Kevin in charge. Yeah. We'll have a dozen second-round picks.
Here's the one kudos that I will give to this draft. It's 4 offensive players.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that.
Even though you wanted to take the defensive lineman in the first round.
True. Yeah.
What is What
the
is
Jameis stands love this draft probably.
Probably. I mean, you feel like to me, Kevin, I just want the Saints. I like Jameis. People think I hate him. I don't hate him. I just want the Saints to have another option at quarterback because next year they don't have a first-round pick. So if they don't get a quarterback this year, they're not going to get a quarterback next year. And if we go into this offseason, we're like, Jameis is Jameis. This is bad. Like, they don't have a path to fix it. Like, get me a dude that's like, at least we can be like, well, they could play this guy or whatever.
What are you talking about? You passed on Kenny Pickett at 19.
And you passed on Jordan Davis. You know what, Thomas? I know you got some tape for me of Jordan Davis. Go ahead and roll that so that Ralph and Kevin and Dave can watch and realize what they passed on at 16 when they decided Jordan Davis was not there. Look at that. I mean, my God. By the way, his Raz is like a perfect 10.
Oh, he looks like
he's
a big,
340,
big boy, huh?
340 pounds. I mean, imagine that playing next to David Onyemata. Look at this guy.
He's huge.
He's fast.
He makes the number 99 look small. He makes the number 99
I
look
take
small.
it all back. I'm sorry, Andrew.
That's a huge guy.
Look at this.
That's a huge guy.
This is against Alabama.
That's a Norman Hand all-star right there.
It is. It's like Norman Hand if Norman Hand was in shape.
Look at that.
It's like the defensive version of Zach Strief. He looks like
he's like
if you build a guy on Madden and you just put his whole height and weight out to 99.
That's a huge bitch.
He is a man among boys.
Look at that.
That's a big dude right there, man.
So are you? We should have taken him at 16, huh?
We should.
Is that what you guys are saying? Yeah.
So
he's like looking down to talk to these.
He's so athletic.
He's like the mountain from Game of Thrones.
Dave, do you want me? Do you want me to tell you his RAS score? Should I go ahead and do that now?
What is his RAS score?
Go nuts! I'm sure it's a 9.9.
Do you want to guess? Or
it's an 11. It's an 11.
Is that your final answer?
Is it a perfect 10?
It's a perfect 10.
Wow, he's a Bo Derek Raz.
His Raz is a perfect.
He's a
10.
Bo Derek Raz.
Wow. Him in that bathing suit. Christ,
Ralph, that's your perfect 10, Bo Derek.
I mean, this is a snuff film.
I mean, that's a movie that she was in, Dave. Perfect 10.
Oh. I thought you were saying you thought Bo Derek was
Ralph. This guy hasn't seen The Godfather. What makes you think he's going to know an obscure Bo Derek movie?
Seriously,
it's the only Bo Derek.
Is there a way
movie,
you can tweak this graphic, Thomas, to scratch out Trevor Penning and put Jordan Davis in there?
No, this is final. This is Mickey Loomis's picks, man. Come on.
Okay, hang on a second.
Don't respect
Mickey. If Mickey Loomis had a bum arm.
So while we were all laughing and playing grab ass and making fun of how terrible this draft was, I went ahead and ran a mock draft myself for the Saints on the Draft Network, and my first four picks.
Wait, what is the Draft?
Not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, not sponsored. I don't know. I ran a mock draft, and my first four picks were Kenny Pickett, Kenyon Green, DeMarvin Leal, and Jeremy Ruckert.
Jeremy Renner?
No,
you know what? I'm feeling better about your draft, Ralph. I gotta say.
Those are names that Kevin made up besides Kenny Pickett. I believe that.
Well, look, I would have tried trading down, but this thing required a premium membership in order to do so, and I'm not going to give them money to do that.
Jason Champagne says that Davis reminds him too much of Albert Hainsworth. Is it Hainsworth with the Titans or with the Redskins? Because if it's with the Titans, I'll take it.
Right.
See if I can get a draft where I can trade picks.
Pre-contract or post-contract?
See if you can do one that comes from a reputable website that we might have heard of before.
Like PFF?
Sure.
I apologize, gentlemen.
Whoa, he said reputable.
I apologize. I forgot to do the hotline. Call in again and tell us a bad purchase you made. We had a couple of good ones. I need a couple more. Call in with a terrible purchase you made that you instantly regretted, and we'll have that on the hotline next week.
Yeah, I'll tell you one that I regret.
We also didn't talk about Schefter and Gil Brandt too.
I lament the Shooter McGavin purchase on Cameo because he did not mention Kevin.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm finally glad somebody mentioned that.
Oh, I noticed it.
I thought we already talked about it. I felt shortchanged. I felt shortchanged.
I'm disappointed Jim Mora got an extra $6 out of me. 2 answers that I had to give him on Cameo.
He scammed you.
No, I thought you would get all the money back if you.
No, you get the Cameo money back. You don't get the money when they ask you a question and you answer it. When you talk to them personally, that costs you $3 each time. I don't get that money. So you got $6 of the podcast money. So we need another subscriber to even that out. Sign up at the $7 level. Just saying. So Thomas,
Can we just see more highlights of Davis? My God, that was incredible.
It was amazing. Thomas, what's the trivia?
The trivia for tonight, we continue with draft themed questions from Budrich. The question for tonight is: which position have the Saints drafted the most in the first round?
It's gotta be the offensive line, right?
Yeah, but do you have to be specific about which position? Like, do
you have to say which position on the offensive line, Thomas?
Tackle?
Yes. Specific position.
They've drafted a lot of linebackers too.
I was gonna say could be defensive line too.
I'm gonna say defensive end.
Maybe look at the silhouette, man.
Oh yeah. I feel like it's defensive end.
So defensive end and defensive tackle don't count as the same
not defensive
thing, right?
tackle. They picked a lot of linebackers in the 70s and 80s. They like Alvin Tolles, Middleton, Fields.
This silhouette here, though, he looks kind of small, skinny. So,
are we?
I'm with Ralph. I would go defensive end because you got
looks like Will Smith.
I'm just thinking about you got Sean Knight, you got Wayne Martin, Joe Johnson.
Yeah.
Darren Howard, Charles Grant.
Yeah.
Marcus Davenport. I mean, there's a bunch.
Yeah.
I would say defensive end makes the most sense.
Yeah. Tony Elliott.
Who?
Tony Elliott. Didn't they draft Tony?
Who the hell is Tony Elliott?
Oh, Bruce Clark.
I'm going to say, just for the hell of it, I'm going to say cornerback.
No. All right, Thomas. Is that final answer?
I would say defensive end.
Kevin?
What position of the Saints drafted in the first round? I'm going to say wide receiver.
Thomas, what is the answer?
No, it's definitely not receiver. Cam Jordan was another one.
Nice. Defensive end, by the way, for those that are listening.
10 defensive ends.
10 defensive ends. Wow. And he put a silhouette of Taysom and then revealed in red letters
Wanted to fool you.
Well, you did, because that's what I said. That silhouette doesn't look like a
Ross said he looked like Will Smith, by the way.
I did.
You're right, though. They did take some line. I'd be interested in knowing what the second position is.
I'll tell you what Mike Westhoff said he looked like. He looked sexy. That's what he looked like.
Second position is running back 9.
Wow.
And third is a tie between wide receiver and offensive tackle with 7.
Oh,
God.
Wow.
And Budrich counted Pete as a guard.
Well, what could we? Okay, which running backs? You had Ricky Williams. You had Von Dunbar.
Ingram.
Reggie Bush.
George Rogers, right?
Ingram.
That's 5.
Dave's boyfriend.
Ingram. Yeah.
Chuck Muncie.
Muncie. That's 5.
Les Kelly, the first ever Saints first round draft pick. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was a fullback at Alabama.
Well, that's not running back.
I think it counts for these purposes.
I'm forgetting.
Les Kelly was a linebacker.
No, they moved him to linebacker. He was a fullback at Alabama. He was so bad at running back, they moved him to linebacker.
Oh. That's all I can remember.
Yeah.
You said Muncie, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, that might be it.
That seems like
Dalton Hilliard was second round, right?
Dalton Hilliard was second round.
Ooh, Craig Hayward.
Oh, Craig Hayward, that's one.
He was first, right? Ironhead.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
and we're probably forgetting some people in the '80s, like busts.
Oh,
Deuce McAllister.
Oh yeah, Deuce.
Oh,
dude. Reggie Bush.
Oh, Reggie Bush.
I already said that. I said that.
He said like 2 minutes ago.
Okay. Sorry.
That's it. That's all.
I think that's everybody.
Yeah.
Pretty good. That's a lot of
running
backs.
Thanks for the trivia, Bud Rich. The draft trivia is tough.
That is tough.
So
it's gonna get tougher.
We got it right though. We got it right. Defensive end. We got that right.
Thomas, hit the music so we can get to the questions. I can give the people the finger.
To the top.
Dun, 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 dun. That's the first time Dave has done the finger guns. Yeah. I'm into it.
Next question.
Kevin is not amused.
Hit us, Thomas.
I'm running a mock draft here. I'm trying to stockpile a bunch of picks.
Give Dave a little rum, and he'll give you the finger guns.
Kevin's seeing how many second round draft picks he can get.
First question.
He's trying to break the simulation. Oh,
first
here to
question,
me. Okay.
Addressed today from Jason.
By the way, Thomas, you sound a lot like Roger Goodell. Have anybody ever told you that?
Damn. Yeah. I don't know. If
By the way, wait. Actually, that's what I wanted to say. Can you not do like an American, like an American accent? I hear a lot of European. You really can't.
No.
Seriously? You can't be like, "Hey, Dave."
Yeah, like come on. I feel like Europeans do a good job with American, it's easy.
Most do. But for me,
I can do the French accent, no problem. I can say these things and if I pretend that I am French, so I talk. I don't know how you say
in France.
Yes. How do you say?
That's different. That's different. You lived in France.
How do you say "Vive la résistance"? How do you say that in English? I don't know.
How do you say this draft is trash in French?
All right. Question to me.
Yeah.
First question from Jason Champagne. So, if the Saints get Smoke Monday, does this podcast go back to being known as the Chronic Podcast?
Short answer, yes.
We'll never go back. We'll never go back to the Chronic. I can promise you that. Ever.
Long answer.
Andrew, you weren't here last week. Dave, he was offering future firsts in the UDFA draft so he could draft Smoke Monday in the UDFA draft because he said he needed it.
What you don't know, Jason, is that when we were the Chronic podcast, I would have weekly phone calls with Ralph where I would just keep chipping away at, dude, we got to change the name. Terrible branding. Dude, we got to change the name. I would say this weekly to Ralph until he finally gave in and was like, fine, Andrew, what are we going to call ourselves?
What was the second choice to Saints Happy Hour? Does anyone remember?
I don't know. I don't know why you wanted to call it. Even I didn't think that was a good idea.
You didn't like Saints Happy Hour?
No, The Chronic.
Oh, The Chronic. I was just like, what is that? I know what it means, but what does that even mean? The Chronic,
well, it was Canal Street Chronicles.
Podcast.
I know. But
it was absolutely terrible branding, just awful, typical Ralph. Just we should call it The Chronic.
Just makes picks, makes decisions, doesn't consult anybody, and thinks it's awesome.
Yeah. Ralph, I got you.
Wouldn't it be great if that's right. I sent the rundown. I sent it. Pay attention to your email next time.
Anyway,
Smoke Monday is Raz 9.19.
Is he really? Oh, so he's
stop it. Get some help.
The Saints could take him maybe at 120. Yeah, Smoke Monday is a cool name, coolest name ever. But after I learned this last week, I did
like
some
it better
research.
than Sauce Gardner?
No, yes, I like it way better than Sauce Gardner.
What if I have sauces?
Sauces, yeah,
from
but
sauces.
But Smoke Monday is like, it's just like a thing. Like you can, all of a sudden Monday becomes a thing. But
what about Drink Tuesday? Would that be a better player for you?
But I mean, Smoke Monday, making a play on Monday Night Football, Kevin. I mean, that'd be amazing.
He's bringing the smoke.
Yeah.
But I did some research and I found out that's not actually his real name. Like Lil Jordan, like his real name on his birth certificate is Lil Jordan. Like Smoke Monday's real name is Quindarius, which is kind of a cool name.
Not bad.
Kind of a cool name, but Quindarius Monday isn't as cool as Smoke Monday. So he loses points for Smoke not being his real name. Gets half of those points back for his real name being Quindarius. But anyway, so yeah, I didn't know his Raz was 9.1. That's good.
Too easy for Ralph to pronounce.
Yeah, he can't get that wrong.
No.
Next question from Dave's friend. Bulldog Saint asks, I will be in Vegas for a conference at the same time as the draft. Other than booing Goodell, does anyone have any suggestions on what I should do?
Oh man, I used to.
Kevin, you got to. He's boo Goodell hard.
There, yeah.
Oh yeah.
She. There used to be a bar in Las Vegas, a small little hole in the wall bar called 7-Eleven Bar, named because it was like right behind the 7-Eleven. But it was owned by a guy from Louisiana, and they always showed the Saints games, and he always did like red beans and gumbo on Sundays or whatever when the Saints were playing.
Let me guess, his specialty drinks are rum and IPA.
No, I don't know. This was years ago too. But I remember being in Vegas. I have family in Vegas, and I was visiting family, and it happened to be a Saints game on Sunday, so I went. And it was cool. It was nice to be in a different city, but to be able to be with Saints fans. But I don't think they're around anymore. So outside of that, I don't have any other.
Brett in Lafayette says only God can judge this podcast. You guys have sent me this text before. I don't know if you can Google this real quick, Thomas, and put it up on the visual screen. But this is kind of a funny thing. I get a text from someone about once a year with this picture, and it's a dude that has a tattoo on his back, and it says, "Only God can judge me." And it's like I get this text from someone once a year, and it's like for the last 17 years, and they think it's like the funniest thing, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I've gotten this text like a million times before. Like, this is not original. So I don't know, Thomas, if you can find this real quick and superimpose it so people can see it. But like
on the back, because there are many. They're on hands, on the chest.
Yeah, it's the kid. He looks like a 16-year-old kid that has it on his back.
Okay, I think that's
next question.
Brett just brought that up. That made me think of that. It's just like some random thing where like people text me like, "Hey, look what I found," and I'm just like, "Great, I've seen it before."
Worst tattoo artist ever.
Okay, next question in the meantime. First time question, by the way, I think. First time from Saint Stompicus. And he asks, this is a great question, by the way. First time, but great. You are betting on a Saints happy hour drinking game. Every time Ralph says, here's the thing, everyone drinks. Over under is 1.5. Hosts 1.5 hosts still conscious and at the 1 hour mark. Assume all 4 hosts are present. What's your bet, and which hosts are still talking?
I'm betting on myself.
Kevin, are you betting on yourself in this scenario?
Let me look at this. I'm betting on the same thing. What am I?
But Jesus. By the way, while Kevin catches
up, no. It depends on what are we all drinking the exact same thing.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because that's the thing. Are we all drinking the exact same thing? Because my tolerance is pretty low, but depending on what we're drinking,
mine is also.
Maybe I'm hanging. Depending on what we're drinking, like, maybe I am hanging around.
Are you doing a shot?
Mark.
Are you doing the whole drink? You got a shotgun the beer. Like it's
I feel like
shotgun a beer. I'm out.
Dave has the strongest tolerance.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you for acknowledging that.
See, because I feel
Dave
like if
is
we
the
drink,
Roman Reigns of the podcast. Acknowledge him.
I feel like if we could drink one thing, I could really hold and go for a while. But if we alternate like a shot and then a beer, or a shot and rum and then like a mixed drink, I'll fall apart 10 minutes in. Like I cannot mix anymore.
I can do all of that. You can give me any scenario and I can handle it. Just no whiskey. But like I can mix. I can mix like, wine and beer and liquor in any order, and I will be fine.
I feel like I have to ask this again, Dave, because the last time you told me this was like
9 inches,
3 years ago. You mentioned to me that you don't get hangovers. Like no matter how much you drink, you never feel bad. Is that still the case?
As long as I can get like 7 hours, like 8 hours, like 7 hours of sleep, yes, I'm fine.
I'm the same, by the way.
If I can just get enough sleep, I'm fine.
I was like that until I was 30.
Tomas, is that true?
You need to drink a lot of water before and after.
Oh, I don't.
That helps.
I mean, I don't do that.
Helps.
I drink a lot of water during the day, but like I don't drink water as I'm.
Or even during.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't.
Senator Hudat says it needs to be the same alcohol for everyone.
Yeah, which would have.
I agree.
Would have to be probably beer. That's what everybody probably drinks.
So yeah, he says Andrew is the Paul Heyman of the podcast.
What does that mean?
It's a wrestling
reference. I don't even know who that is.
Wrestling.
Paul Heyman, not Heyman.
Heyman. Sorry.
Who is Paul Heyman? Who is that?
He's a famous
Ralph ne peut pas dire le nom de quelqu'un correctement. So does that mean what is that, an insult, a compliment? What is that?
Jimmy Hart.
Paul Heyman is widely regarded as he's a very knowledgeable person inside the wrestling business, and as a manager, he's considered like like Nola Fredo says, a mastermind.
A huge douchebag.
Oh. He's from the New York, New Jersey area, so a little bit of that.
Hard times.
Okay.
That would be Dave.
I'm going to take that as a personal insult.
Tomas, I tried to find the picture of the kid.
I have it. I have
God
it.
can
I have
judge
it.
me. Oh, you found it
there.
You have it. All right.
Is it?
No, that's not it.
That's only God.
That's correct. That's the correct spelling.
Thomas,
God, Thomas, you're worse than you're worse than Ralph with his Saints picks. You're worse than Kevin with his draft trading.
So you want to incorrect? Okay.
With everything else.
No, Cut the salami this week.
Thomas is
damn.
He's
mediocre meats for Thomas this week.
Getting that Walmart.
All right.
Next question.
Last question from Biloxi Blues. And Biloxi Blues asks, who do you think makes the final call on which player the Saints draft? Is it Dennis Allen, Jeff Ireland, Mickey Loomis, Gail Benson, or Saints Twitter?
It's me.
It's Ralph.
I think Gail Benson is somewhere beneath Saints Twitter.
Boy, that's what I would. I would love it if they could do. It could be like a Nickelodeon award show where the Twitter votes, and then that's who they think draft.
That'd be cool.
Would the Jets do any worse?
Final call is Dennis Allen, I think.
If the Jets would put out to it, would they do any worse? But that's a good question, Kevin. That's a good question because Sean Payton is gone, and as Andrew mentioned earlier, that Sean Payton was the one who wanted the trade ups and was kind of reckless. Who do you think?
Mickey.
Nah, I don't know.
Interesting.
I mean, obviously, Saints Twitter is a joke, and obviously, Gail Benson's a joke too.
I think it's
wait. What makes you say that, Dave?
Gail Benson is not making decisions on who the Saints draft.
Wait, really?
Yeah, she's drinking iced tea.
You really don't think so, Dave?
And lemonade.
Oh, by the way, Gail Benson, I think maybe in the nearish future, I think Gail Benson's going to come out with a thing about how she's going to start renovating the St. Louis Cathedral. She's going to start a project.
Wow. Oh, really?
Drop a bunch of money to renovate the St. Louis Cathedral.
Wow,
yes, you heard it here first.
That would be the site of my wedding.
Oh, wow. Of course it was.
Of course.
You bougie motherfucker.
Add that to the bouge meter.
I was married at St. Louis Cathedral. True story.
Yeah.
Yep. It happened.
Yeah.
To my wife, who is upstairs, and I haven't seen her in like 5 days. She's been isolating.
Wait, why is she isolating? Because
she's got the Rona.
She has the Rona.
Oh, she's got it? Is that still going around?
I didn't think so, but she got it, so, you know. Yeah.
I think my sister carried it.
She's isolated.
Like St. Louis could.
I can't find the tattoo on Google.
I have it. I want my salamis.
Here's a question.
Salamis.
Kevin.
There it is.
If I said to you,
there it is.
That kid's like 12. His parents.
I get that text. I get that text like once a year for the last 17 years. It's unbelievable.
It looks like it's written with a marker, like a Sharpie.
Yeah. Yes, correct.
I just like and I'll get it from some idiot I haven't talked to in 7 years.
He looks like the 12-year-old version of Timothy McVeigh.
I haven't talked to you in 7 years. Check out this meme. And I'm like, someone already sent this to me a lot.
Kevin, I got a question for you on concerning the last question.
It's not even centered on his back either. Like, what is going on?
It's terrible.
It's like
it looks like they let me tattoo him. Like,
yeah, with your bad hand.
With my bad.
It's a pretty good
tattoo. It looks like the guy that did that tattoo had the grip strength of a 12-year-old.
You did a good job. You did a good job with the Grim Reaper, though. I'll give you that.
I did. Tight in there. That's not a real tattoo. That's not. I'm sorry. That's not.
Biloxi Blue says his wife tested positive for the Rona today. In all seriousness, hopefully she's okay.
Are we
hopefully mild symptoms and all that.
Is it finally catching up?
My wife is on the mend. She's on day 5 and feeling much better. So fingers crossed. You know, look, it's still like, look, we're triple vaxxed and all that, but like, it's still, I don't mean to like downplay it. You know, obviously it's serious shit. So,
Kevin, if they decided to name the next
Ralph
variant,
just like quickly changes the subject.
I know, no, it's about COVID. If they named the next COVID variant after a Saints player, what Saints player COVID variant would scare you the most?
Debo.
Jordan Davis.
And vaxxed.
Has to be a current player, yeah?
No, it can be any Saints player.
Brandon Browner.
Nah. Well, no, because I mean, wouldn't the correct answer be the sharper variant?
It even sounds right.
Did you really have to go there?
Sounds
Ted
dangerous.
Gregory variant. That's the answer.
Well, so
the Ted Gregory.
Man, come on, man. I'm trying not to laugh, dude. I'm trying not to laugh at that, man. I reread the guy's Wikipedia page like literally last week, and I'm just like, oh god, I feel terrible.
Now is when you would play the violin.
No. I'm gonna limit it to the current roster, and I'll say the Troutman variant.
Yes, nice.
I like it. I like it.
The Troutman variant.
This podcast is almost 2 hours long, and we've skipped 2 whole top topics that we were going to on the rundown.
That's right. We got to move it along. So, Thomas, we got to get out of here.
Rundown.
I read the rundown. I didn't see the pick that he picked the players.
Now Andrew's going to be focused because he knows we got another mock draft coming up. And he's gonna
I'm not letting this shit slide again.
Yeah, he's got to have a mock. We got to have mock draft up to Juge's bougie standards.
I like
Thomas.
That. My dad says the snake, Jake the Snake variant.
Ooh, the Kenny Stabler variant would get you.
The snake.
Thomas, do we have a clip of the week?
We do a clip by Budrich called Smoke Monday. But before I play it, also shout out to Tiger Saint for creating a bunch of clips that we won't be showing on
the Junior Gillette variant would belt you in the face.
Okay, my clip of the week.
What about the Brandon Brown?
Jordan Humphrey, but I'm looking back at Smoke Monday. I am ready to go. I am ready to go.
Let's get on that. Make that, please.
Make that GIF, Thomas. Make it
That's
happen.
right. Yeah, meme that and put
Hey,
that on
Tomas, check the timestamp on this.
I haven't seen Dave this excited about a Saints player since the Saints drafted Mark Ingram. This is incredible.
Ralph's pants just got tighter. You mean Heisman winning trophy? Heisman trophy winning
winner that you totally forgot about. But Dave is Smoke. I don't think Smoke Monday is UDFA quality though, Dave. I think he's like draftable quality. I think
that's a shame. That's a damn shame.
But Smoke Monday,
God,
it's a Hall of Fame type name.
You know what? If the Saints find a way to draft Smoke Monday, and they
God,
and they acquire him, then I would. Awesome. I think we need to allow Dave to have him as his UDFA son. I think we need to make an exception.
Who made that meme? Thomas,
I did.
Who made that
meme?
I made
No, we don't.
It's amazing. It's for the people listening to the audio version. It's the girlfriend meme where the girlfriend is looking at Dave, and the girlfriend has little Jordan, and the girl walking by is Smoke Monday. It's amazing.
I feel like someone else did a meme that was funnier that actually had Dave's face and Smoke Monday's face. Yeah, it was Butter.
I think Butters did, but I forgot which channel was it on.
Yeah, Butter says mine is better in the chat.
Yeah,
I didn't realize again.
It was way better.
Going back to what we were saying earlier, I didn't realize they had a 9.1 RAS score. So this is I'm excited.
Just draft them.
This became a real possibility.
Post that. Let's see Butterich's.
The Saints can trade down and get Smoke Monday with the extra pick.
That's right.
And Dave can be euphoric. And Kevin can be euphoric.
This is Butterich's.
By the way, BS.
This is terrible. You think this is better? You can't even tell what the meme is. You've covered everything.
Everyone has a hard time listening to Dave.
You've over memed it. This is meme too. This is a meme too far.
BSI Bill.
Why is that quality so terrible? It does not sound like that on my phone.
That I can hear you. I hear you can run through the Ruiz variant quickly. I see what you did there. Yeah. Well, what is Smoke Monday's RAS?
9.1. We said earlier.
9.19. Pay attention, dude. Juge, Juge's just steam is coming out of his ears because of the draft. He can't. Ever since the draft went off the rails, he can't.
It's been hard to focus. I gotta say, throwing me off my game.
Yeah. So, guys, thanks for joining us. Support the freaking show so we can build a studio, so we can fly Thomas in from Poland, so we can have a live show in the fall. $7, $10. Become an annual patron. Get yourself a Saints Survival mug. It's amazing. You should do it. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Dave. Thanks to Kevin. Thanks to Andrew. Thanks for Thomas back in Poland running the show. Thomas, you weren't the best podcaster, producer on earth this week. You usually are, but this week was not your best work, but we love you anyway. We'll give you extra salami. We love you. So,
Ralph can't
guys,
say anyone's
thanks
name
for joining us. And remember, kids, don't shoot your dick off. Until next week, the bar is closed.
Spray down.